Welcome into another video. We have a 3-round rookie mock draft for 1 quarterback leagues. I'm excited to get into this one. Guys, hit a thumbs up on the video. It really helps out with the algorithm. Let's get straight into the mock draft. All right, the first guy off the board here is none other than Marvin Harrison Jr. out of Ohio State. Now, Marvin Harrison Jr. is being deemed as the best wide receiver prospect in recent years. Even go as far as saying he really is a can't-miss prospect, an elite prospect, right? So Harrison Jr. really checks all the boxes to be elite in the NFL. I mean, let's look at it. I mean, he's physical, he's athletic, and he's really a technician when he's running his routes. He's really just what I guess you could call him, a route running specialist. 6'4", 205 pounds. Just think about a smaller version of Calvin Johnson, Megatron 2.0, right? I mean, Harrison Jr. wins right off the line of scrimmages, and he possesses elite hands with that ball tracking ability that you like to see. I enjoy watching his athleticism along the boundary lines with his ability to really stay in bounds and make those spectacular catches. And we can't forget the pedigree. I mean, he's Marvin Harrison's son. He played with Peyton Manning in the Colts and did absolutely phenomenal. Marvin Harrison Jr. definitely needs to be the #1 prospect off the board. Let's look at the #2 guy that we have coming off the board. That's going to be Malik Nabers, the wide receiver out of LSU. Malik Nabers he declared for the draft after ranking top 8 nationally in catches, yards, and touchdowns per game. He's just a twitchy wide receiver and is as elusive as he racks up all these yards after the catch. So Nabers is really an explosive playmaker, with a versatile skill set. He combines exciting deep speed with an angry run after the catch ability. Nabers has an elite ball skills and ball tracking ability. He's a real threat at the boundary line, and that's what I really like to see out of all these receivers. He has that athleticism combination with the hands to make spectacular catches. Nabers displays precise timing when playing the ball into the air, especially on those underthrown passes. Time and time again, he shows that he can be a physical receiver and a reliable deep threat, right? Nabers is consistently coming down with those 50-50 balls, and he's really potent, after the catch type of ability. I love having a receiver who could take the ball and take it to the house at any given play. Let's move on to the third guy here. We're talking about Jayden Daniels, the quarterback out of LSU. Jayden Daniels is a dual threat quarterback that has really drawn a lot of comparisons to Lamar Jackson. If you sit and watch some of his tape, the explosive and the elusive runner style with the combination of a nice, smooth throwing motion with that quick release point can prove just that. Daniels leads his targets with anticipation and touch, which I love. Daniels has shown that he can operate inside and outside of the pocket and is really a nightmare in the open field with 3,307 career rushing yards and 34 rushing touchdowns. Daniels should be, he should run somewhere in this 40-yard dash, probably around that 4.5 range, and he really shows that natural speed. Daniels has impressive arm strength that allows him to target all 3 levels of the field with ease. I really like his deep ball. I think he throws a really good deep ball. I like the poise when he's under pressure in the pocket. When pushed out of the pocket, he maintains his focus down the field. So when he's unable to escape, I've seen many times where he just takes the easy check down instead of forcing a bad decision. His raw abilities alone should have fantasy managers really salivating at the mouth to be able to have the opportunity to draft this guy to make him the cornerstone of your team. Jayden Daniels easily #3 off the board for me. Let's move right along here. Talk about the #4 guy off the board. We're going to talk about Rome Odunze, the wide receiver out of Washington. Now, following a breakout sophomore season, Odunze's production really hit another level in 2023 as he led the nation in receiving yards with 1,640 yards. He's clearly has that X wide receiver size at 6'3", and he has a nice play strength with an ability to high point with a wide wingspan. Odunze has a big catch radius and should be he should be a first-round pick in the upcoming NFL draft. Odunze can exploit zone coverage really by finding those holes with little to no effort. He's an excellent route runner and has great ability to accelerate to his top speed extremely quickly. He consistently attacks the ball and snatches it out of the air away from his body, which is very positive to see from a wide receiver entering into the NFL. Odunze has remarkable body control, especially near the sideline when he makes his catches. It's nice to see some advanced route running for a 6'3" wide receiver. You see Odunze really routinely find open spaces all over the field, not only in the man, like I said, even with the zone coverage. It's really good to see. I'm curious to see, even in mock drafts on NFL.com and all these places, you're seeing Odunze anywhere from the top part of the draft to the middle part of the draft. I'm really curious to see what team he ends up with and who he can tag along with. Who knows? A lot of people even have him mocking going to the Chicago Bears. That would be great to see, and that puts us right along to the number 5 guy that I have coming on, and that's gonna be Caleb Williams, and he's being mocked to go to number 1 overall to the Bears, and he might be able to tag up with Odunze. But Caleb Williams is the quarterback out of USC, and he's being touted as really a generational type of talent. So Williams has really shown his game-breaking ability after taking over that starting gig at Oklahoma from Spencer Rattler. After following head coach Lincoln Riley to USC, he continued to improvise on the fly and show those Mahomes-like abilities on his way to winning the Heisman Trophy in 2022. Williams is very athletic and can be for sure a threat running the football if needed. His progression through his reads are elite, and he tends to find the open man, especially under duress. Williams has a strong ability to escape pressure and extend the play. Overall, Williams really has an elite arm talent, right? It really makes him pretty much any throw when he's off balance. He can make any of those. Now, these throws can sometimes get him into trouble, and I'm sure he's going to need to continue to develop as he becomes an NFL quarterback inside of the NFL. Now, I know a lot of people, even in one quarterback leagues, have Caleb Williams going above Jayden Daniels, but the big reason why I have Jayden Daniels above Caleb Williams is that high rushing floor that Jayden Daniels does give you. Yes, Caleb Williams can make some room with his feet, but let's just face it, no quarterback is a better running quarterback than Jayden Daniels in this draft. Jayden Daniels also has the talent. That's why I have him going above Caleb Williams in this draft. Let's move right along here to number 6. We're going with the tight end out of Georgia. We're going with Brock Bowers. Now, Brock Bowers, really since the year 2000, there's only 5 tight ends that's been top 5 or top 10, I should say, draft picks, and Brock Bowers has a massive chance to make it number 6, right? So he's been known by many as Baby Gronk. He's been the best tight end in college football since he was a freshman. Bowers led his team for the most catches, the most yards, and the most receiving touchdowns in the past 3 seasons. Bowers is extremely athletic and a freak of nature in the pass game. He possesses soft hands and good ball tracking ability. He needs that tightrope surgery for that high ankle sprain that they had in 2023, but he ended up making a very quick recovery, and he was able to play only 26 days later. He has the ability to win in contested catch situations. Bowers has outstanding play strength and body control with a relentless motor and energy. I love Bowers' catch radius as seen as one of the safest, prospects in this class. I know a lot of people, if they want to knock Bowers, would be his size. He's a little bit on the smaller end, only 6'4". You probably want to see maybe the 6'6" type of tight ends go in there, but Brock Bowers has all the talent in the world to be a fantasy football asset. I can't wait to see where he's going. Let's move right along here to number 7. We're going with Troy Franklin, the wide receiver out of Oregon. So Troy Franklin's his production accelerated really this past fall as he continued to show deep speed and advanced route running at 6'3" and 187 pounds. I love his efficiency of that 3.32 yards per route run, which ranks 6th among wide receivers with 50+ targets. He has a fluid movement skills. He's really a true space kind of creator, and he's got a high yards after the catch type of ability. Franklin had a career year with Bo Nix with 8 games over 100 yards receiving this past season. Franklin is consistent with great hands and can go up and grab the ball out of the air with ease. He's an absolute threat all over the field with those sticky hands. Franklin has an explosive burst with, that stop and go type of ability with sharp and clean route running. He consistently separates at all 3 levels. Now, I do think that he needs to probably build a little bit more onto his frame. Yeah, I needed to get him closer to that 200-pound mark, but I think overall, Troy Franklin has given me a lot of AJ Green type of vibes. He's just got that slender frame and able to get up and do some special things with the football. Let's move right along here at number 8. We're going over the wide receiver out of LSU, Brian Thomas Jr. Now, Brian Thomas is an athletic wide receiver with really quick feet. He's an explosive vertical threat with very good body control and the ability to high point the football. He has long arms and has good ball tracking ability. I would say that he has a large catch radius and he's very physically dominant on the outside. Thomas had over 1,000 receiving yards and 15 touchdowns as the wide receiver 2 behind Malik Nabers. Even with being that number 1 or that number 2 wide receiver, Thomas nearly matched Nabers' 17.6 yards per catch with 17.3 yards per catch of his own. He also led LSU in touchdown catches last season with 17. Even at 6'4", Thomas can shake defenders in open space. Thomas is a formidable red zone target with that big body that he has, which is going to help him become more of a fantasy relevant type of target, obviously depending on where he ends up and where he gets drafted. But I do like Brian Thomas ended up being a fantasy relevant wide receiver in 2024. Let's move right along here at number 9 off the board. We're going with Drake May, that quarterback out of UNC. Though Drake May displays good accuracy on the intermediate throws, especially outside of the pocket. He possesses good quickness to escape pressure and pick up yardage. May boasts a very, very strong arm with that strength to really just be able to throw with high velocity outside of the numbers and deep downfield. He shows superb accuracy across all 3 levels of the field. From the film that I've watched, May seems aware of where he is or where his checkdown is at all times, and I'm really not afraid to use it. It's kind of the mentality that he has it. So he's able to dink and dunk as he needs to if that play is starting to break down. He has a nice fluid release with creating high velocity on his throws. May had a disappointing 2023 really to his standards. That can be attributed to, an ankle injury, right? An offensive coordinator change, or really losing his go-to wide receiver in Josh Downs. Even with that said, May's overall resumes really should project to be a nice fantasy quarterback. I'm hoping he gets drafted earlier in the NFL draft. That way he can go to a team that maybe best suits his needs, and that way he can get on the field sooner rather than later. Let's move right along here to number 10. We're going over that wide receiver, Keon Coleman out of Florida State. So Keon Coleman is really an interesting prospect here. I mean, he spent his first 2 seasons at Michigan State before transferring over to Florida State in 2023. He was an absolute scoring machine, sporting a 22% touchdown rate with his 6'4", 215-pound frame. He has a special ability to really be able to high point the football. He has nice tracking ability and body control, which makes him a good red zone target. So he's definitely a contested catch monster. Coleman possesses a big man catch radius with track-like speed. I mean, when he's running down the field, he has an outstanding acceleration with exceptional footwork as well. He's just not really a burner with that top end speed. He has some efficient releases with robust hand techniques really at the line of scrimmage to help create that separation. What makes him really pop off the screen is that when he shows that gravity-defying kind of contortions, making those aerial adjustments to make highlight plays, you can really see Coleman has that alpha type of mentality when he's on the football field, and that's what you really like in football. He just needs to make sure he has a nice catch radius, or not radius, but a nice catching percentage, right? Don't drop as many balls. I think overall it's pretty good. Like I said, I just like to watch the guy play, jumping out of the gym. I love Keon Coleman. That's what easily makes him at number 10 for me. Let's talk about number 11 here, coming off the board. Adonai Mitchell, the wide receiver out of Texas. So Adonai Mitchell really transferred to Texas from Georgia in 2023 because he really wanted to live closer to his family, and he ended up putting up some solid numbers and really growing as a wide receiver. Mitchell is extremely physical and a great blocker on the outside. Mitchell brings nice size and advanced route running to the NFL that really could help him find success, especially in the end zone. Mitchell really wins downfield with ease and has great speed while being effective in space. Mitchell displays consistent hands with good ball tracking ability. He can be an explosive playmaker with a good body control, which that's always fun to watch. So Mitchell chops his feet nicely when doing quick slants, which helps him create a lot more space. He often uses those violent jab steps, when targeting up a DB. He can make a little quick 1-0 or whatever he wants to do, maybe the quick slant, maybe the out route, and he can really kind of keep the defender guessing, which is what I really did like about Mitchell. Is why I have him here at number 11. Talking about here at number 12, the last guy here in the first round that we're going with, that's Xavier Legette, the wide receiver out of South Carolina. So Xavier Legette completely bullied defensive backs. He was the recipient of 38% share of the team's total receiving yards. Legette has incredible speed and quickness and has a great release from the line of scrimmage. I would say that he is a contested catch specialist as well as a vertical threat, right? So Legette displays great body control with dominant hands that accelerates well in a straight line. So I love just watching him make those spectacular catches onto the boundary line. Legette's built like a linebacker. You know, he's got strong hands, makes it easier to catch the football in the middle of the field. Those are the first 12 picks that I have. Let's move right along here to the second round and see who else we have here. Coming in at number 13, I'm going over with Xavier Worthy, another wide receiver out of Texas. So Xavier Worthy is an extremely fast and very skilled route runner. He's explosive before and after the catch, even at his size. He is fearless working over the middle of the field. Worthy he has a good vision, right? In the open field. He's very slippery wide receiver. He has a very quick first step off the line of scrimmage and very good ball tracking ability. He's an absolute nightmare to defend on his slants. His size won't really fit every NFL team's needs, but he does have reliable hands and could make a name for himself as a wide receiver in a perfect situation, depending on what team he goes to. Let's go ahead and stay over here. Let's go over to number 14 here. We're staying at Texas, going over the tight end, Ja'Tavion Sanders. Now, Ja'Tavion Sanders, we do have to remember that he was a premier recruit out of high school, right? He started to show his promise really in his sophomore season. That's when he had over 600 yards receiving. Sanders is really an extremely athletic tight end that will be a nightmare against opposing linebackers. He has excellent speed and very good route running ability for a 6'4" tight end, right? So Sanders is an excellent open field blocker, which that's going to help him stay on the field as a rookie. Sanders has an outstanding ability to high point the football with a combination of great speed and agility as a route runner, right? So as a tight end, it's nice for him to be able to get off of the line of scrimmage, beat the press coverage regularly. So he's one of the best traits that I've noticed that I've seen Sanders while watching his tape is how rare he drops the football. He's a very sure-handed tight end. If you're throwing the football in his radius, he's pretty sure he's gonna be coming down with the football. So let's move right along here to number 15. We're going over Bucky Irvin, the running back out of Oregon. So I love watching the vision of Bucky Irvin. So his cutback ability, his burst, play strength, speed, pass catching ability, it's just so good. Every time he touches the football, you can see his shifty feet start to move and effective agility, which makes defenders just whiff all the time. Irving is by far one of the most elusive running backs in this class. Brooks is a very slippery runner, not only a very slippery runner, but he's got explosive cuts on top of all that. Right? So Irving has good contact balance while staying with an aggressive type of run style, even at 5'10", 195 pounds. He's averaged at least 3.9 yards after contact per attempt and forced at least 63 missed tackles in each of the past 2 seasons. From 2022 to 2023, he forced a missed tackle every 2.5 carries, which is absolutely bonkers. Irving is a dynamic playmaker and has the explosive ability to really make a touchdown any given play. I really like him. He's one of my favorite running backs. I hope he lands into a good landing spot in the NFL, and that would only probably make his ADP rise even more. But as of right now, I do have him at 15 on my board in a 1-quarterback league. Look at number 16 here. I'm going right back to Texas. We're talking about Jonathan Brooks, the running back. So Brooks emerged as the Longhorns' leading rusher in 2023 with Bijan Robinson. He's going into the NFL, right? So Brooks ranked in the top 10 in the nation in yards after contact per attempt. He did, however, suffer a torn ACL against TCU, which held him out of the last 4 games of the season. During the season, he showed some impressive agility and body control while maintaining that long speed. He is by far one of the most productive backs in the country, and if it wasn't for the injury, he would be the unquestioned #1 running back in this draft class. Brooks has excellent start and stop ability. It just allows him to really manipulate those tacklers to make people miss. I mean, he's very good as far as his catch radius goes, and he's really explosive as a pass catcher too. I love seeing that. Brooks had 63 forced missed tackles in only 187 carries, which is about 1 forced missed tackle every 3 carries. Even with the expected missed time in the NFL season, he has the talent to become a lead back in the NFL. Now, I know his ADP's probably fallen down a little bit because of his injury. People don't really know when he's going to be coming back. I mean, you never know. He might miss 4, 5, or 6 games to start the season. He might even begin the season on the PUP list. But when he comes back, I'm hoping he has a good opportunity to show his skill set, because Jonathan Brooks could be probably the best running back overall out of this class. Let's move right along here to number 17. We're going to Audric Estime, the running back out of Notre Dame. So Audric Estime brings a bruising style of running. It's really like a true north and south type of runner in the NFL. So he's very good contact balance. He creates a ton of yards after the contact. Estime broke 64 tackles in 2023. He could truly be a 3-down back in the NFL for a certain amount of team. Let's talk about maybe even the Titans, something like that, right? Kind of replace Derrick Henry a little bit. Estime possesses good, solid vision between the tackles, which I really do love seeing from any running back. Estime unfortunately had to share the backfield every year except for this last year, which he really showed everybody that he can carry the full workload, averaging 19 attempts per game. Estime was second team All-American, who set a school record with 18 rushing touchdowns. He hasn't showcased his receiving skills as of yet, but we have to remember that that Notre Dame really isn't a pass-catching type of team or passing team. They're more of a run-heavy type of team. So it's not really, what the team really needed. So it's not necessarily that Audric Estime can't catch the football. It's just that he wasn't needed to do that. So I need to see from the combine what is he going to be doing, and I need to see kind of what are we doing here, right? I think Audric Estime could be a really, really good talent. Let's move right along here to number 18, going to Florida State running back Trey Benson. So Trey Benson's college career started a little crazy as he suffered a multi-ligament tear in the knee at Oregon, which was in 2020. So in 2022, he transferred to Florida State, which he was able to showcase an ideal blend of power and speed. Benson possesses a thick build and a strong lower body. I like seeing Benson's contact balance as he's able to produce solid yards after the contact. Benson shows to be a strong downhill runner. On many occasions, really, I've noticed a tenacious and physical style of running that I think in the NFL, I can see Benson being a very good check down back as well with the hands that he has. He's very hard to bring down and can break tackles at large clips, which that's awesome to watch his tape and watch him do that time and time again. Benson can easily find extra gear to really pull away defenders. I've seen that quite often when I was watching his film, is that when he can break away, there's a lot of times people may not be catching the guy. And that's what you want to see, because if you can't pull away from defenders in college, you definitely aren't pulling away from defenders in the NFL. Let's move right along here to number 19. We're going to have Jalen Polk out of Washington. Now, Jalen Polk broke out this season alongside quarterback Michael Penix and wide receiver Rome Odunze. Polk is a precision route runner and a violent runner, really, in the open field. Polk has incredible hands and with exceptional hand strength, with a remarkable ability to secure and maintain control of the ball in contested catch situations. He's a great in a catch and run situation as well. So the guy can catch the football and he can make something happen after he catches. I love it. I absolutely love Polk's ball skills. He often wins off the release and on the line of scrimmage as well. So Polk is a quick and fluid athlete, really tracks the ball exceptionally well. One of my favorite things to watch on film was his impressive catch radius. The guy, it doesn't matter if it's in his vicinity, Polk's coming down with the football. Really love to see that, and I think he showed his way out all the way up to the national championship with Washington. Moving right along here at number 20, we're going with Ladd McConkey, the wide receiver out of Georgia. So McConkey is an amazing route runner. Let's just call a spade, right? He showed these skills at the Senior Bowl practices when he was just destroying people left and right. He's got exceptional yards after the catch vision. He possesses nice elusiveness. He's got the intangibles, and he has the ability to create space effectively downfield. McConkey has reliable hands at all three levels and gets to top speed extremely quick. So he reacts well to the off-target kind of passes, which can be a useful trait to have in the NFL with some of these quarterbacks not throwing very well, a la Zach Wilson. Hello. That's all right. We'll stay off of him for now. He's an excellent short area quickness and while consistently running under those long throws. I love how good his initial quickness is off the line of scrimmage. McConkey has a nice hand-eye coordination from what I can tell, and he's an excellent blocker in the outside given his size at 6 foot 185. McConkey really could be a sleeper in the NFL draft. He could kind of make up a Julian Edelman-esque type of role, and I could definitely see McConkey be successful in that. Moving right along here at number 21, we're talking about Bo Nix, the quarterback out of Oregon. So I feel like Bo Nix is really a tale of two tapes here. Nix transferred from Auburn, which at Auburn he wasn't anything to really write home about. He was highly touted coming into Auburn, but really didn't show us what he could do. Ended up transferring to Oregon, which really helped his development, in my opinion. Nix throws with a very good velocity and is very accurate in the short and intermediate game. He has good timing and throws with anticipation. Nix thrives in empty sets and executes with precision in the 2-minute drill, which could appeal to some NFL teams. Nix has an absolute innate ability to extend plays with his legs and is also a threat in RPO situations. Nix has shown that he can easily manipulate defenders with his eyes, holding safeties and linebackers, which helps create those passing lanes. Nix has decent arm strength with a compact release point with his passes. And one thing that I think that people can go against Bo Nix is that he didn't really play a ton from under center. He's more working in that shotgun. And we have to see. I've seen a lot of quarterbacks that come out in kind of a spread type of offense who end up being successful in the NFL. They just need to have a coaching staff around him to be able to develop him, to be able to make a 3 and a 5 step drop instead of just playing from the shotgun, maybe a 1 or 2 step drop. So moving right along here, number 22, we're going to the wide receiver out of Michigan, Roman Wilson. Now, Roman Wilson is extremely fast, quick, and accelerates well off the line of scrimmage, right? He broke out as a senior in Michigan's really run-heavy type of offense. He accounted for 50% of the team's receiving touchdowns. He separates consistently at all 3 levels and has sharp footwork when moving laterally. So Wilson has reliable hands with a good catch radius. I really do love his route running ability, which really he showed at the Senior Bowl practices. Even at 6 foot, Wilson has long arms, which allowed him to play bigger than his frame. Wilson has good ball tracking ability down the field and has strong hands to come down with those tough catches. I love watching how Wilson just keeps his eyes up the field. He navigates the defense well, and he's able to come down with a nice pass. So we're going to stick it right here. Let's go over to number 23. Stick it right there with Michigan. Go with the quarterback, J.J. McCarthy. Now, J.J. McCarthy, the thing about this guy is that when he wasn't really asked to really carry the Michigan team, which was really led by a strong defense and a very elite running game. McCarthy does possess, good arm strength. He can make all the throws in the NFL, and he was a 2-year starter and flashed the ability to execute a pro-style offense under head coach Jim Harbaugh. Now, McCarthy is very athletic. He has the ability to extend the plays with his feet. McCarthy has decent deep ball as well. So even with McCarthy showing nice pocket presence in high pressure situations, I still believe his overall decision making needs some improvement. I would say that he has excellent, in the play action. I think he's really good in that. He can really sell the play action. And the one thing I really like is that his mechanics, his throw mechanics, his foot mechanics. It's all pretty good, right? The only thing I'd say is when he gets under pressure, he sometimes makes some mistakes. So let's go over the last guy here we're talking about in the second round that I have going right now in a 1-quarterback league. We're going with Cody Schrader, that running back out of Missouri. Cody Schrader is a physical runner with good vision and cutback ability. He has underrated acceleration, in my opinion. Now, he seems to be a decisive runner. He finds a hole and shoots the gap very, very quick. Schrader has shown to have good hands with some yards after the catch upside. He gives off a natural pass catcher type of vibe, and I like that he shows the ability to be able to turn up the field right after the catch. He runs with a low pad level and low center of gravity when running through the line of scrimmage. I saw many times where he's just breaking through poor tackles. I think that just from what I can see, maybe a lot of people don't agree with me, leave it down in the comments below, but I think Cody Schrader could be one of the best running backs in this class. I just love his low center of gravity. The dude is running through all type of arm tackles, and I think in the NFL, being having a strong running ability like that, I just had to put him in my second round. I like Cody Schrader. Let's move right along to the third round that I have in this 1-quarterback league. We're on number 25. It's going to be Braylon Allen, the running back out of Wisconsin. So the first thing that comes to mind when looking at Braylon Allen is his size. Coming at 6'2", 245 pounds is really scary to try and tackle. Allen averaged a healthy 3.66 yards after contact per attempt in his college career, as well as a 5.9 yards per carry with 35 rushing touchdowns. He's a very young with a solid frame, right? I really enjoy watching his play strength, as he overpowers defenders consistently. He will be a very effective goal line runner in the NFL and could be a 3-down back. The only thing I would say that he needs to really clean up his fumbles. He averaged a fumble every 66 carries in college. I don't like that. And he kind of moves like a sloth sometimes. Like, yo, bro, you ever seen in the Mario Kart when you're playing with Bowser, right? And right at the beginning of the race, he's like pedaling, and then he finally gets to go. That's kind of like what I see with Braylon Allen, where sometimes like do, like Mr. Eeyore, right? do something. I know you're a big back. You can be a nice physical back. Braylon Allen, I need some more from you, buddy. I need some more from you before I can put him into my second round of a mock draft, right? Let's move right along here. Number 26, another running back, Marshawn Lloyd, the running back out of USC. So if we look at Lloyd's entire college career, we have to mention that he started at South Carolina in 2020, where he suffered an ACL tear. So he was pretty quiet 2 years following the injury before transferring to USC. Now at USC, Lloyd was that 1A running back, alongside fifth-year senior Austin Jones. Lloyd displayed good patience, vision, lateral agility, speed, good contact balance. He has good solid yards after the contact. Lloyd's really an elusive runner in the space, which really helped him. He averaged 7.1 yards per carry. I love that. Lloyd is a very twitchy runner. He has shown that he can be a good catching option out of the backfield. I really like his pass catching or his pass blocking ability, which is going to probably help him stay on the field quite a bit. And he keeps a low center of gravity, especially when he's running a lot of times. So I do like to see Lloyd. I think he could be a sneaky type of running back in the NFL. Again, it's all going to determine where he gets placed in the NFL to see how he's going to be used. All right, let's go to Western Kentucky with this next pick. Number 27, we're going to Malachi Corley. Now, Malachi Corley is an explosive playmaker. I've heard so many, Deebo Samuel type of comparisons throughout this entire offseason. Corley is built like a truck, and he shows a ton of physical and physicality and aggression after the catch. A lot of people call him the yards after the catch king, right? So he's a nice contact balance and speeds up quick both downfield and in short areas. Corley catches absolutely everything thrown on target, right? Corley was a Senior Bowl standout, showing with the ball tracking ability and his field vision. Corley seems comfortable really working in traffic as well. He has elite athletic skills and he plays very, very fast. Corley can be a terror in these catch and run type of situations. That's probably why he compares to Deebo Samuel quite a bit. He just needs the ball in his hands. Corley can make something happen out of it. He can make something out of nothing, right? That's what you want to see out of these late round wide receivers. Not sure where he's really going to go in the draft. He might even be a third or fourth round draft pick, but I think Corley could be somebody special for you to watch, especially being able to pick him in the third round of a rookie draft. I think you might be able to have a stud there at Corley if he continues to develop. Let's move on to the next guy here at number 28, going back to Michigan, Blake Corum, that running back over there in Michigan. So I have to say that watching Blake Corum's tape, his vision is absolutely impeccable, right? He is an excellent decision maker. His contact balance is probably some of the best I have ever seen. Corum possesses power, sharp jump cuts, and good burst through the second level. He's very patient. He picks his holes after pressing the line of scrimmage. Corum was an integral part of Michigan's success over the past seasons, totaling 2,708 rushing yards and 45 touchdowns. A torn meniscus and MCL sprain ended his 22 season prematurely, but he rebounded for a healthy 2023. Corum really is the total package. The big problem that I have with Corum is his size. I mean, what is he? 5'8", 210 pounds. So I like my running backs closer to the 6 foot range. 5'8", a little bit smaller for me. But when you watch the guy play, oh my goodness, I really want to rate Blake Corum a lot higher than what I have right now. Right now, I currently have him in the third round of a mock draft. I'll have to see how he shows up, but it's just his size that's really, really scared me. But hey, look at Devon Achane. He's a smaller dude, and he did pretty well. So, and Corley's a kind of a burlier version of Devon Achane with that size that he has. So let's move right along here to the next guy we have coming off the board, number 29. It's going to be Will Shipley, the running back out of Clemson. So Will Shipley is a running back that has a nice all-around game, right? At 5'11", 205 pounds, he shows nice space awareness, good contact balance, and very good pass catching ability. He caught 84 balls for his career and averaged 7 yards after the catch per reception. Shipley is a one-cut runner that navigates well in a tight space between the tackles. He's a good lateral agility, right? Good quick feet, and good straight line speed. I enjoy watching Shipley's instincts as a runner, as he really likes to set up these defenders and he can make people miss quite easily, right? I know Clemson, they're known for a lot of good players coming out of Clemson, and I think Will Shipley is just another guy to put on your list. Again, like everybody out in here, I want to see where they go in the NFL draft. That's probably going to dictate where I move these guys drastically with my following mock draft. So move right along here to the next guy. We're going over Michael Penix, the quarterback out of Washington. So I feel that Michael Penix can really, he can sense pressure in the pocket. He has a natural drift about him in that pocket. So he has a quick release and makes some good, tremendous NFL caliber type of throws. Penix is excellent game manager in my opinion, and please don't Cam Newton me right now, okay? I'm just saying, you think he's a good game manager. Could he be a game changer? Absolutely, but I don't want to get into it. Don't leave no comments down below talking about Cam Newton and talking about game manager stuff. I just think Michael Penix is a game manager, so let's just talk about his big arm, right? He has a big arm strength. He can effortlessly just sling the ball all over the field. He seems to be able to make, I don't know, he just dissects defenses, all their alignments pre-snap, which I really like. I think he knows where he wants to deliver the football. You know, I've seen Penix really show a nice touch on his deep balls and intermediate throws. He's very quick on his progression reads, and he's shown to have a short memory after making a mistake, which is a very good trait to have in the NFL. Penix shows toughness in the national championship game after visually being hurt. He stayed on the field and he was really able to play at a high level, even when visually being in a lot of pain. My biggest gripe what I have about Penix, why I don't have him rated way up here with these other guys, is his mobility. His overall mobility just is not there. He's not going to get you yards on the ground. He's more like a Tom Brady running style. Tom Brady might even have a better running style than Michael Penix. Dude, he's a little bit older than a lot of these quarterbacks, and this dude is slow, but he's really good passing the football, and that's what matters. Let's move over to the next guy we have coming off the board at number 31. It's going to be Ray Davis, that running back out of Kentucky. So Ray Davis is a physical runner with an NFL type of strength, and he has great pad level and quick feet that helped Davis rush for back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. 2 different colleges, right? 2 different colleges he had 1,000-yard seasons. That's awesome. One at Vanderbilt, and he had one in Kentucky. Davis is a very patient and decisive runner. He can shake defenders in the gap with deceptive acceleration. He excels with yards after the contact, with 3.8 yards after contact per attempt last season. Davis received a 73% share of the carries for his team and is shown to really be able to carry the load for his team. Davis is a good route runner and overall has the ability to be a 3-down back. Next guy we're talking about here is Javon Baker, the wide receiver out of UCF. He's going to be the 32nd overall in this draft. Javon Baker really is a former 4-star recruit. He began his college career at Alabama. He was relatively quiet until he transferred to UCF, where he was able to break out and emerge as a true deep threat. In 2023, Baker averaged 21.9 yards per catch with a 17-yard average depth of target. Baker shows excellent short area quickness, which helps him create separation. I love that Baker gives good effort as a down-the-field blocker as well. He displays strong hands and able to make secure catches that I can see, his great ball tracking ability on those deep throws. I love watching that. Last thing I really want to mention here is that he can beat press coverage at the line of scrimmage rather consistently. I think he's one of the biggest sleepers. I think a lot of people forget that he was at Alabama at one point. There's just a lot of people in front of him for him to break through. That's why he transferred over to UCF, became the number 1 guy over there, and now he just dominated. I think Baker is probably one of the biggest sleeper wide receivers in this draft. Let's go over to the next guy here. We're talking about the running back out of Marshall, Rasheen Ali. Now, Rasheen Ali is my really dark horse running back in this entire draft. He has an elite athletic skills while also keeping his pads low and always seems to fall forward consistently. I love to see his lateral movement and his start and stop ability. Ali also shows that breakaway speed in the open field, right? I love seeing that. Ali is a very capable wide receiver. He's a very capable receiver, and he does hit that top end rather quickly and create separation from defenders. He shows quick feet and straight line speed, which I really do love. This is another back that thrives in the screen game. I love that he breaks quite a bit of tackles, and he's very, very hard to bring down. A lot of you guys may not have heard of Rasheen Ali or heard very little of Rasheen Ali, but I'm telling you guys right now, put it on the calendar at the Bayou Bingo Fantasy Network. I'm telling you guys, Rasheen Ali will be a good fantasy product sooner rather than later. Chalk it up on the calendar. Leave a comment down below. What do you guys think of Rasheen Ali? I'm curious to see what y'all's thoughts. So you guys seeing what I'm seeing? Because I'm seeing some good tape with Ali. Let's move on to the next guy here, number 34. We're going to Jermaine Burton, the wide receiver out of Alabama. So Jermaine Burton has been good at both Georgia and Alabama, but he really started to shine bright in Alabama in 2023. Burton is an elite deep ball wide receiver with a nice breakaway speed. Burton has a 68% catch rate with 20.5 yards per catch with a 20-yard average depth of target. Burton seems to easily adjust to the football to make those non-accurate throws catchable. He displayed impressive aerial skills with the ability to keep his toes in bounds. He should be considered as a nice, really deep ball type of stretcher. Think about somebody like a Gabe Davis for the Buffalo Bills. That's kind of what I'm seeing out of Burton, right? He can stretch the football, kind of open up the defenders, make sure he's backing up the safeties a little bit to make room for other wide receivers. I think Jermaine Burton could be useful, definitely in the NFL. Moving along here, going over the next guy, number 35 here, Jalen Wright, the running back out of Tennessee. Jalen Wright is one of the fastest running backs in the class, right? You have to call a spade a spade. Not only his speed, but he's a violent runner with the capability of thrashing through tacklers. Wright averaged 7.4 yards per carry in 2023 with 19 attempts going for 15 plus yards. He has natural contact balance, and I like how low he keeps his pads when he runs. Wright has good lateral movement and start and stop ability. I can see that he has good patience letting his blockers set up the play. One of the best things that I like that seems he makes a lot of plays in the screen game, and I'm telling you guys, when you guys watch him play football and he catches the field, this dude can run. He can run quite a bit. So, could he make a name for himself? Yes. Could he be a breakout fantasy star for you? Yes. Can you get him probably in the 3rd or 4th round of your rookie drafts? Yes. Take a chance on Jalen Wright. He could be a phenomenal fantasy asset for you. Let's move over to the last guy of our 3-round, 1 quarterback mock draft. We're going over at number 36, Jalen McMillan, another wide receiver out of Washington. So Jalen McMillan was extremely productive, even with an injury-riddled season. He emerged as an effective target at all 3 levels of the past 2 seasons, right? So McMillan he's agile, he's fluid, as a run after the catch type of receiver. He's capable of creating space and getting upfield very quickly. McMillan takes good angles to separate from defenders, and I can see him being a really impactful vertical threat with great baseline speed and explosiveness in the NFL. I would say he has consistent natural hands and is versatile with the ability to play on the outside if needed, but I do see him primarily as a slot wide receiver. I like his ability. I think he was outshined a little bit by Dunze and Polk, but I think McMillan can kind of stand on his own as a nice wide receiver in the NFL. Washington was absolutely loaded at the wide receiver position. McMillan was one of the reasons why people can say they were loaded. As always, thank you for watching the video. As you guys know, on Bayou Bengal Fantasy Network, there is no off season for this channel. We are year-round fantasy football, keeping you covered to best prepare you to dominate your leagues. Guys, hit the subscribe button. Really helps out. Hit the like button and leave a comment down below. I can't wait to see you guys on the next video. We'll see you guys next time.